Hi, everyone. For this review, we are going to switch over to the world of rye whiskey, something that is not always necessarily my favorite, but we're going to give this sample bottle a shot. We're going to review Whistlepig Piggyback 100% rye whiskey, aged 6 years. Love these sample bottles. As a matter of fact, actually, I went into one of the stores in the rotation that I kind of frequent and go in by me. And something new that they've had some of it, but now they have like a nice section of sample bottles. And if you've watched my videos, I'm a huge fan of them because if I can get my hands on a sample of something that I haven't tried, and it doesn't have to be bourbon whiskey. I have samples of vodka, rum, tequila, all the above and different stuff. I love that because it gives you an opportunity for a couple of dollars to get a taste of something, and you may not want to buy the entire bottle, or you might, and this is a great way to do it. So I picked up this. I've never seen a sample of in this store or any others. I think I did have a pour in a restaurant, I believe, of the Whistlepig 10, which I think is above this in the terms of the levels of not only age, but I think of quality, my own thought. And I recall I thought it was okay. Matter of fact, I didn't think it was bad at all. And I've heard great things about the Whistlepig 12. So this is going to be, I'm assuming, a little bit of a step down from there, but who knows? Anyway, this is, as the number shows here and here, it is aged 6 years, and it is a 100% rye whiskey in the mash bill. The proof is 96.56. It is a product of Canada. The distilleries, distilleries are undisclosed Canadian distilleries. It is bottled by Whistlepig Whistle Company, Bardstown, Kentucky, and that clearly says it on there. It does say Whistlepig Whiskey Company. I think when I looked it up elsewhere, I saw another name, but I'm going by what's on the bottle. But again, the mash bill's 100% rye. From what I understand, this is meant more as a mixer in a cocktail. It's meant more as a rye to use in a cocktail. It can be, enjoyed neat, which is the way I'm going to do it now. But I think it was intended more as a mixer for use in a cocktail, and I believe the master distiller created this as a nod to the bartending community. So let's get in the glass and see what we got going on. Okay, so we got this poured up, put the whole sample in the glass. Let's go right and give it a nose. All right, now this is interesting. I'm getting on the nose. I can tell there's a rye spice there, but got to be honest with you, I'm getting some sweetness on that too. It is not hitting me necessarily as 100% rye now. Just to stop right there, I've had rye whiskeys before, and I haven't had a ton. But my preference for rye whiskey, I'm giving you an example, is something like this. Because this is Rittenhouse Rye as a Heaven Hill product bottled and bond. You're looking at it's barely a rye. I mean, it's a 51% rye, just making it. And plenty of corn in there. Whereas this is 100%. And the ones I've had that were 100%, have honestly, for the most part, haven't liked as much. It was an exception. I had a malted rye from New Rift. But other than that, generally like something with a mix. If I'm going to have a rye, have a heavy dose of corn, at least, even though if it's in the minority, at least maybe like even a 30% of something, giving it that sweetness to balance out the spice. So this is 100% rye, but the nose is not hitting me like that. I am getting a decent dose of sweetness in there. Almost some traditional. This is not, this is a Canadian product, not your traditional, even in a traditional American rye. But anyway, I think there's some sweetness in there. Let's give this a taste. Cheers. This is okay. I mean, it's not terrible. I am absolutely getting that rye. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how to describe this. I'm getting a little bit of, it's going to sound like a crude term, but if I was going to drink some grass, if I had some grass in my mouth on a windy day or something flew around, this is a little bit of that. And I mean that specifically, not even in the most terrible way, but I mean that, I guess maybe earthy is a little bit the better description. It does have a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that earthy kind of taste, but I am getting that. But at the same time, it's balanced. I remember when I had the Balcones Texas Rye, of which I think I still have a little bit below the bark. I still never finished it. That was a completely 100% earthy rye. Like I couldn't even take it. It was just not good, in my opinion. This isn't to that level at all. Okay, so for 100% rye whiskey, there is a decent amount of sweetness. So I'm getting a balance of the rye. I'm getting a balance of the spice, that earthiness. Maybe not as much the part that I like. The part I do like is there is sweetness. I'm getting cinnamon, and I'm even getting your vanillas and caramels in there. I'm getting a little bit of that you would expect out of your traditional bourbon, of which this is not. So I am surprised that I don't have as much sweetness as I do out of this. So I would not say this is terrible at all. I would not say this is something I'm going to buy a bottle of. I would be interested in exploring the higher level Whistlepigs, the 10, and certainly the 12 I've heard is good. I've not tried that, but I did have the 10, and I didn't think it was bad. So the verdict on this is definitely going to finish this. Take one more. Yeah, this really is not that bad. What I'm going to do right now, just for a quick ending to this, is I'm going to pour the Rittenhouse Rye right next to it. Kind of want to compare it because this has a lot of sweetness considering it's 100% rye. So let me just do that right now. Okay, I use this a lot of times as a test guinea pig or whatever. In the science experiment, you usually kind of have a test. I forgot the term for that. But in any event, I use this as a measure to compare to various ryes when I do come up. And this one is... again, because this is 51% rye, but there's a lot of corn in this. So let me give this one a taste. The nose first, actually. Very subtle on the nose. Cheers. We're going to give this one a taste. All right. There's definitely more sweetness in this, no doubt. When you compare the two, definitely there's more sweetness out of this. It's also colder, too. I think it's been sitting by the air vent. But in any event, there is sweetness out of this. My preference certainly would lean to something with more sweetness. But I'm going to tell you, as I put this down and go back to the Whistlepig Piggyback age 6 year, I'll just conclude with this. For a 100% rye whiskey, yes, it's got its spice. Yes, it has its earthiness, parts that I'm not as thrilled with. But for this, I have to say there's a great deal of sweetness coming out of 100% rye. And I can see why this could be even intended in a cocktail. I think this actually would really be good in a Manhattan or any other drink where you would use rye whiskey. And in old fashioned too. So not bad at all. Much better than I expected. Cheers. Take care. Thanks for watching.